Hello, you've caught me watching Titanic.
Scoff all you want, it's one of my favourites and never fails to leave me an emotional wreck. Excuse the pun. Isn't it incredible how in the span of just 4 hours, it's quite a long film actually, you can meet a cast larger than most soap operas, fall in love with them all, and then weep as you watch them freeze to death in the Atlantic.
It's a classic for a reason.
It's a tactic video games have adopted with great success as well, with loads of our favourite games turning complete unknowns into beloved characters you'd walk over hot Lego for before the end of the first act. Assuming they make it that far because, like movies, video game characters have perfected the cunning trick of forcing the realisation you've fallen in love with them at the exact moment they're about to be killed. And because I'm in a melancholy mood, I feel like reminiscing about some of those characters. Spoilers ahead, obviously, massive spoilers for every single game on the list.
So, here are 7 video game characters we fell in love with right before they died.
Let's start with our heartbreaker from the Legend of Dragoon. Here comes the spoiler. Lavitz, one of the first characters to join your party in this cult classic RPG. His death comes from nowhere and is absolutely brutal, although if, like me, you took a while getting to grips with the precise timing needed for Legend of Dragoon's turn-based combat, you'll have seen Lavitz dead multiple times in the first few hours.
But there is dead, and then there's dead.
When King of Serdio, Albert, has his moon gem stolen by Big Bad Lloyd, Lavitz loses his temper and rushes to aid his friend. Transforming into dragoon form, Lavitz leaps forward, only to be introduced to the pointy end of the Dragon Buster, which is almost poetically sad given the only character fault Lavitz had was his tendency to rush into danger when he gets too emotional. And as faults go, that's hardly one I'd classify as a red flag.
On the contrary, it's an endearing and noble trait that only makes us love him more.
But while this skewering is a thematically appropriate end, it's not the one we asked for, because we didn't want this dashing protector to leave our party, let alone the land of the living. Lavitz was a gentle soul with a kind heart who looked out for his friends. Dart's anguished cry to the heavens, perfectly encapsulating the heart-rending tragedy of the moment.
Goodbye, sweet prince.
Bang! That's the signal for entry number 2, and the second character we fell in love with right before they died, Sean Maguire from Red Dead Redemption 2. This red-headed joker was with us for such a short time, he's only present in a handful of missions, so if you steamroll through the story, he could be sent to the big saloon in the sky faster than he could finish this sentence.
I could have told you.
You can walk that off, right?
He won't, but it's easy to understand why. That's the first thing that comes to mind. A death so brutal and unceremonious isn't exactly something Rockstar has shied away from in the past, but it does feel particularly tragic when this happy-go-lucky yapper's renewed lust for life is shot out of his head and all over your boots.
Too soon?
Sean's barroom philosophy makes him such a wonderful contrast to the rest of the gang's cynical bitterness, and the levity of his bickering being absent is palpable throughout the rest of the game. He's the classic lovable rogue, the young'un too big for his boots who claimed he could charm a dog off a meat wagon, and by God we missed him. So did Arthur.
He was like an annoying little brother to me. What fun we had riding together.
Has anyone else got dust in their eyes?
Spoilers for The Witcher 3 next, and the third video game character we fell in love with right before they died is Vesemir, which probably sounds odd to fans of The Witcher given Geralt has known him for the majority of his near 100 years on Earth. But think about it this way, The Witcher 3 is to date the only game in the series on PlayStation, and Vesemir is barely in it after you leave White Orchard. By the time you reach Kaer Morhen later in the game, the Grim Reaper is counting down in minutes, not hours.
But that is the brilliance of The Witcher 3's writing. You know, this world feels like it existed long before you arrived, as did the relationship between Geralt and Vesemir.
The former's fatherly affection for the latter is present in almost every line of dialogue, gentle ribbing mixed with genuine care and concern, perfectly performed by the late great William Roberts. And like real life, the last moments of normality with Vesemir occur with little fanfare. Only towards the end of the Battle of Kaer Morhen does the thought that a world without Vesemir might arrive, and the death of the elderly shepherd protecting his mutant flock is so hard to stomach precisely because we never thought it was possible either.
It's tough, and if we feel bad about losing him, then imagine how difficult it must be for those who actually knew him.
No more arguing over griffin killing techniques or reminiscing over hunts gone by. The present moves on, but the memories remain, and it's those lasting moments that remind us how lucky we were to have had Vesemir in our life. But in the words of the man himself, no Witcher has ever died in his own bed.
Rest well, Vesemir.
Resi 4 spoilers next, and oh Luis, you're the only scientist that could participate in the production and forced evolution of a parasitic biological weapon we could ever love. And the fourth character we fell in love with right before they died, partly because we'd only just learned the gentleman's scholar / ladies man realised what the Los Illuminados were up to and had been sabotaging their efforts, but also because he's the suavest character in the franchise, bar none.
And considering Leon Kennedy exists, that's saying a lot.
Yes, the Spaniard's confident swagger provides the perfect accompaniment to Leon's 80s action hero puns. Yes, he shoots you when you've annoyed him too much. Yes, his jacket is the best item of clothing in a game that includes fits like this. But the thing we really love, the main reason he's on this list in fact, is his jacket. No, I'm joking. It's his heart.
The one Sadler plunges a spike through.
While we're on the subject, I'm not above saying I love that jacket so much that I would never take it off. To be fair, it is almost the perfect encapsulation of his character. Smooth, stylish, and iconic. Thanks for the banter, compadre.
And thanks for the sweet jacket too.
Will you stop going on about the jacket?
If I had to choose one character I loved and lost, leaving a piece of my soul forever hollow, it would come as no surprise to anyone that I would choose Aerith from Final Fantasy VII. I've spoken many times about how her death at the hands of Sephiroth is a formative event in my life, and the amount of effort over the following decades I've poured into trying to prevent it from happening, even though I know deep down it's impossible.
And yet I care so much that I just keep trying.
But that's the magic of Aerith, isn't it? She's effectively an angel in a realm of mortals, generous, forgiving, and generally above the petty squabbles that plague Gaia, always willing to turn the other cheek or offer a hand to those in need. And in a world as desperate for empathy as Final Fantasy VII's, it means every player quickly worships the ground she walks on.
Everyone loves Aerith. I've even got a little Aerith figurine on my shelf here, look, and every time I look at it, I just...
So to see her murdered in front of our eyes both solidifies our adoration of her and calcifies our hate of Sephiroth. The shock of it as well, especially because for me, and I imagine many of you, this was the first time we'd experienced a lead character dying in a video game. It felt like it was against the rules. I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it.
If there is anything more heart-wrenching in a video game, I am yet to see it.
Have you seen what's next?
No. Why? Oh.
I spoke too soon. Big spoilers for The Last of Us, by the way, because the next character we fell in love with right before they died is actually a pair of characters, Sam and Henry. And let's be honest, it could really be any character from The Last of Us given the bleakness of Naughty Dog's post-apocalyptic world. It's basically impossible for any character not to leave a strong impression. But this particular pair met such a catastrophic end, it will stick with me for a very, very long time.
But I'm jumping ahead. The reason we love them is because they're so real.
Sam is the archetypal kid who feels like everything in life is against him. And to be fair, considering he spends most days being chased by deadly infected, he is right. How can anyone not look at this innocent soul, forced to age beyond his years because of a cruel and unforgiving world, and think of anything other than giving him the biggest hug and telling him it's all going to be okay? And this is precisely why Henry tries so hard to keep it together for his little brother, because he knows deep down he can't do anything to fix the mess they are in. You know, it's not going to be okay, is it?
No matter how hard Henry squeezes and wishes for a better life, things will never be okay.
This world will never be able to give Sam safety, and Henry will forever be confronted with the reality that he can't provide it either. So, when Sam inevitably becomes infected, his older sibling has to reckon with a decision so unbearable, so tragic, he'd rather die himself than live with the pain.
And I've got nothing clever or funny to say about that.
Okay, final entry, and massive spoilers for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Seriously, if you haven't got around to playing it yet, just end this video now. The final character we fell in love with right before they died is Gustav.
Unbelievable.
Up to now, the entries in this list have all been touchstones in gaming culture most gamers have experienced on the way through life, and that's why the same names pop up again and again. So to say that a character from a game released in 2025 is up there with those familiar names, it's a big deal, and Gustav certainly is a big deal.
I mean, the whole game is a big deal. It's a flipping masterpiece.
The strength of all the main characters in Expedition 33 is that they are automatically sympathetic by virtue of their mission. Fighting to save the remainder of humanity from the gommage after having experienced so much loss for so long is a noble sacrifice that instantly endears them to us. But with Gustav, the story doesn't begin from a place of hope. The game kicks in at his lowest ebb, and we slowly bring his joie de vivre back through his work. Before we know it, things are looking up-ish. The first real boss has been vanquished, the paintress is closer than ever, and it's time to look hopefully towards the horizon. But that's starting to get seriously ominous. We look to the distance, heavy thuds echo all around us, and the screen goes black. The figure with the cane appears once more, and then...
Not like this.
Well, you know, like I always say, it's not about the rock. It's more about...
Adieu, Gustav, and thanks for everything. You will be missed. And that was 7 video game characters we fell in love with right before they died. If this video made you cry, that means you enjoyed it, and you should give it a like. And leave a comment down below if we missed the character you fell in love with before their untimely end. And if you want to see more videos like this, and keep up to date with all things PlayStation, then make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you when we finish being sad, which will be next Friday.
PlayStation